Hey guys, welcome back to Reality Check, please. I'm your host, Cassie, and happy Sunday. The weather is kind of crazy out where I live right now. It's thundering and the wind kind of really picked up really crazy, and it's about to rain any minute. So if you hear that in the background, let it be your white noise. And let's just kind of get into some reality checks. If you've seen our earlier video that we just posted, we went into and touched base on the whole Janae and Kenny of it all. So if you haven't watched that video, make sure you watch that one after this. And today we are actually going to be talking about the four-part series that Cierra took to Instagram with. We're not going to dive into all of them because truthfully, I don't have like the energy to listen to all 40 minutes probably, given that they're each 10 minutes a piece. A friend of mine sent me the videos and she says she's actually talking about Huda in the second part. So you may want to listen to that. So I did, and we're going to get into it. But before we do that, make sure that you like, share, comment, and subscribe to our channel. Let us know what you're thinking, what your thoughts are of Cierra. And in this kind of little like debrief that she's giving, she is serving up some tea. I will give her that. She's serving up some tea. She's clearing a lot of stuff up with the whole Huda of it all. I saw a creator, before we jump in, I saw a creator on TikTok refer to as redacted. So we'll probably be doing the same so we don't summon any defenders into our videos anymore, because my comment section on TikTok is a literal travesty. Okay. It is an outright war zone. Like, it's disgusting. But nonetheless, nothing that they could say could truly hurt me. I'm Latina. I grew up with a tough Latin family, Hispanic family. And so nothing that they could say could truly hurt my feelings that my family has probably not already said to me. I have thick skin, and yeah, I guess it's why I have so much fun doing this. Regardless, we're not here to talk about me. We're here to talk about Cierra and this tea she's spilling. So once again, make sure you like, share, comment, subscribe, and let's get into it. So Cierra starts this video off by kind of giving like a Q&A. I guess she's putting questions up at the top of her video and like questions that she's been getting and responding to them as she goes. And one of the very first ones she says is, why were you kind of very fake with Huda? And she says she was very surprised to see that perspective from the viewers and I guess what was coming off on screen, because she felt very close to Huda at the beginning. She even says she felt attached to her. Those were her words. And there came a point after the whole Jalen thing, and she had that reality check with her. And she said, I almost stood behind Jalen. And she says that that felt like a pivotal moment in their friendship, because she says she was a graduated crash out. She's been a crash out before. She's had a situation kind of similar to her and Jeremiah. And so she just saw a lot for her. She saw a lot ahead of her. She saw kind of like the light at the end of the tunnel for her. And she wanted nothing more than for her to rewrite the narrative. Those were her words, for her to get a redemption arc. And she just saw so much more for her at the end of this all. And that's truly what she wanted. Now, part of me can't help but think that, again, she was playing producer. She knew what would kind of sell and make the season better, given that she has ex-Islanders. And we saw kind of Cierra be very manipulative this season, but she addresses a lot more of that later on in the video, and we'll also get into it. Moving on, she actually says that her and Nick at the time when they were coupled, that her and Nick had their very first argument because she saved redacted, and Nick couldn't understand why he saved her, and Cierra just wanted, again, so much more. She was holding on for that hope for her, and it's just kind of like, okay, but you have to be very realistic. She does go into the whole Hannah dumping at the end of the video, and we'll get into that as well in a little bit, but we're gonna knock out these redacted parts first. The next part was basically in the makeup room. She says that that did not happen the way it came off. She did not ignore her. She says that she had actually just finished crying a lot, and she knew that if she spoke, that she was going to start crying again. And so she just kind of kept quiet, but that her and Redacted did have an entire like hugging, intimate moment, and they said a lot without saying actual words, and the cameras obviously twisted it, which I get. I understand a lot happens, in these types of shows with editing, and so they're going to give us what they want us to know. Next, she spills what we've all been wanting to hear, and she is not holding back. She gives us what really happened at the heart rate challenge. She gives Redacted her flowers. She says she's got moves, and her number one go-to move is when she licks the guy's genitals, and that happened. We saw it with Jeremiah when they were doing their whole dominatrix challenge. She did it also with Ace, and I don't remember seeing that. Maybe I do. It's just all a blur to me now. She says that, Chris had already kind of gone through half of all the girls, and Huda was still locked in on Ace doing all that stuff. And so she says actually that the girls didn't clock it until after the guys actually clocked it. And I guess in the moment, the guys were kind of realizing what was happening, while the girls, because I guess they were just having their moment with Chris, didn't realize what was really going on. And after the fact is when they noticed, like, okay, she's, I think, doing a little too much. Cierra said she has never seen Shelly get upset. She's never seen her lash out in these types of challenges or feel any type of way. So she, in that moment, did not want to disinvalidate her friend. And I understand that and I get that. She says that the guys were all looking around at each other, like they all kind of clocked that, someone went too far. And she says even Redacted realized that she went too far. And what Cierra says as to why we saw that kind of disgusting face and like that meme that we saw of her kind of just like making that like grossed out face after the heart rate challenge, she in that moment thought, okay, it was a challenge. Did Redacted go too far? Yes, she did. Cierra says that it didn't really clock in her mind that her performance actually raised Ace's heartbeat in the moment until afterwards, which is why she made the face that she made, where she was kind of grossed out at it all. And that's when she says things got really messy. Cierra then moves on to talking about the stand on business challenge. She says that was the most uncomfortable point in the season for her, and it lasted for hours. We've all known that already. A lot of Islanders have come out to say that. She says at one point she even saw the sun coming up, and she says that Redacted was actually standing up there for 30 minutes. And I get that. I understand, like, obviously all these Islanders would have had to have, at least 30 minutes up there with the cards that they're reading. And she obviously addresses that those faces and the faces that she was making were not towards necessarily Redacted. They were just because she was very uncomfortable. What do you guys think? She then addresses the whole Redacted coming out and saying that she was bullied and that she felt alone all season. Cierra says, I don't take bullying very lightly. I tried to always include her, especially when people were coming after her, when she was, at the point of almost getting dumped off the island after her crash out. She tried to always be there for her. She felt that she truly never singled her out. If anything, she says, even at her peak of crash outs, that she was trying to make sure that everybody was treating her with respect. She then addresses the claims that Redacted is saying about her being the fakest. She sees it as the Islanders coming off the show, Redacted did call her daddy pretty soon after coming home. And so she thinks that it was just probably overwhelming for Redacted. She's trying to maybe absorb all this information like at a rapid pace. So it kind of clouds your judgment in those moments as an Islander. And she probably thinks like, what's real, what's not? What did she really say? What didn't she say? How does she feel? How does she not feel? Like what's real, and kind of trying to sift through what is real. She then continues to talk about the Hannah of it all, which is probably one of the things that we all want to hear. She says that not one single person made that decision solely, that it was all unanimously. They go by each Islander. She says that Redacted stood up for Amaya, and she says we are not sending her home. Hindsight's 2020. Cierra says, well, you know what? Thank God she stayed, because look, she ended up taking it all. I get it, but the reality of it, had Amaya gone home, obviously somebody else would have taken the crown. She says there was no right decision in that moment. Then she touches on the whole, like, well, she should be lucky that she had two connections. She says that she was trying to see that as like glass half full, and realizes now that it was probably like not the right time to say that, given that now people are saying to her, since the whole Nicolandria, like, you should be lucky that you experienced at least one great connection. And I agree, that was something that should not have been said in that moment. I think that she was just, again, trying to see the glass half full, but Sierra, read the room. At the end of the day, we kind of just have to accept out the season that we got. I'm glad that we got our first Hispanic couple winning the show. Amaya is like, we made the right person famous. I'm glad that Pepe and Iris came out of this strong. Ace and Shelly, Nicolandria. Like, I think that regardless, in the moment, we were really upset that Jeremiah and Hannah went home. And yes, it may not have made sense, maybe to them neither. I think that regardless, they were in a very difficult position, but everything that was meant to happen happened. And I am just so happy that we have the couples that we have now. I am so obsessed. And Gugu Gagaing over Iris and Pepe, they are such a beautiful couple. Like, I am obsessed with them. But that is all for today. I'm going to go enjoy this rain, this lovely gloomy weather, the thunder, all of it. So I hope you guys have a great rest of your Sunday, a great start to your week. We'll be back for more tomorrow. And if we get any more substance as to what is going on, like with the whole Janae of it all, if you guys see anything, send it our way. If I see anything, I will definitely send it your way. But with that, I'm just going to enjoy the rest of our Sunday. I hope you guys have a great, blessed Sunday. And yeah. Make sure you like, share, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye.